We now go to Ms. Lantsman. Ms. Lantsman, the floor is yours. You have 5 minutes.
Thank you. I wanted to continue and just follow up. I understand that the travel policy was is based on advice from PHAC. Do you think the government can do a better job at developing travel policy? For example, I mentioned that most of those measures were ad hoc. And they often rejected that advice. My understanding is that that the travel advice was a level 2, and the government went with a level 3. And I want to know if there's any plans to depoliticize this and give industry, I think, the assurance that they need that this will be done if it happens again in a less ad hoc way.
So, all of our travel advice and all of our analysis is, as we had said, is based on the scientific evidence and the data that we have before us. And so the measures that we have, whether it be testing or travel advice, is based again on the data that we have, on advice from public health officials. With respect to border measures, Mr. McQuarrie mentioned, ensuring the smooth flow of individuals across the border. So it is based on discussions that we have with bilateral partners as well. And so everything that we've done in terms of our border posture and travel measures are based on the science and data that we have before us.
I understand that, but I think you went further than the experts had recommended. So I know that there's Canadians that have lost trust in advisories and are not adhering to them. I know that doctors are openly questioning almost all of those measures. I know that we are well behind, even with lifting the restrictions on PCR testing from some of our allies and some in Europe. So, given that travel is critical not only to our federal economy or provincial economy, it's federally regulated. I just want to know if there's any steps that are being taken to have a less politicized process about travel advice, because I think that the advice that you were given did not match the travel advisories that Canada has.
So when our measures, as was announced yesterday, I believe, all the days are blending together, but all of the those measures are based on advice and evidence that we do have. And so every successive change that we have, whether it be the one that was implemented in the fall as a response to Omicron, or the one that was, a couple of days ago that will take into effect to use a rapid antigen test for fully vaccinated travelers, are based on advice, similar to the travel advice which Global Affairs does in consultation with public health officials. Right? It is done based on the data and evidence that they have in making that recommendation.
Is there? I thank you for the answer. I just want Canadians to know that sometimes the advice doesn't actually match the advisory, because I think your advice didn't match the advisory that came out. So I just want to know if there's a timeline to remove all of the testing. We're seeing some of that in Europe. We're seeing signals of testing being removed from air travel in the U.S. Is there a timeline from the department?
So as I said, we are on an almost constant basis, and in real time, we do look at the current epidemiological situation in Canada domestically. We look at and what the appropriate measures are, and again, as was announced yesterday, we adjust those border measures and travel measures based on that evidence. And again, we do that with our colleagues at Public Health and other departments, Global Affairs, for example, and we're mindful of the epidemiological situation, not only domestically but internationally, as we do that. And based on that constant review and based on that analysis, we do make those adjustments, and those adjustments are announced.
Do you consult with other countries? I'm trying to understand, and I think many have asked this question: why is the science so different in different countries, given that Omicron is here? I just want to know why our measures seem more restrictive than in other countries.
So I don't want to speak for my colleagues at Public Health, but as part of their analysis, they do look at the epidemiological situation in other countries, and there's consultations with provincial medical officers of health as well. So all of those measures that are there and that are put in place are based on full consultations. And again, with our colleagues at GAC and Public Health, they are very mindful of not only the epidemiological situation, but also the measures that are in place internationally.
Thanks for your time. I've been shown the red card, so thank you very much to everyone for preparing for this, given how busy you are.